So then, I guess transitioning, I posted the question to my Instagram story. Mm-hmm. What concerns you, or what questions do you have about the real estate market? And my friend Devin, I told you I was going to call you out, and it's happening, asked, when is this craziness going to stop?
Ooh, on the
Any
spot.
insight?
I know. Good question. Right? You know, I think that, again, I'm going to keep saying nobody has the crystal ball. I think what we see, instead of this, this cliff that we're coming to and we're going to fall off, I think what we see instead is, and I was listening to some stuff this morning on the Wall Street Journal talking about, inflation. It actually, slightly in April started to come down ever so slightly. I think they gave a number of 8.3 instead of where it had been running. And so what I would say for housing and at the average sale price, I think what we see is, have we kind of hit that peak as far as that month over month, and will we start to see more of a normalization or a longer gradual, it holds in a holding pattern? Because one of the things we were seeing, annual appreciation of double digits, that's not healthy and that's not normal in the housing market. And there were months where we were seeing significant increases. And again, that's not sustainable. Healthy in our marketplace, being between that 3% and 5%. Year over year average, or that annual sale price, that's healthy. And so what we see is a gradual, move down to that number. So I want to choose my words carefully, because I don't want to say it's declining. It's what it's not going to do, hopefully, because we need a healthier appreciation as far as just the rate of the growth, I should say. And so hopefully we do see that slow. And so back, it's a long answer for when do we see an end to the madness? I think, like I said, I think what we'll see is where we're at, and we stay there, and we hold there for a little bit longer and sustain that, which again, that's a healthier piece. Where interest rates go, this was interesting too. Because people keep asking, especially within the real estate community, what are interest rates going to get to? That's the big concern, and the fear of the unknown. And is
there a psychic that specializes in real estate?
Who is this person?
Can we find them?
But again, and depending on which economist you follow, but at least one was on the Housing Wire, and he was talking about, and I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and he was mentioning that generally speaking, if the economy overall is headed for a recession, which of course there's many headlines about that, and whether or not that does or doesn't happen, but if it heads and is in a recession, it's likely that we don't see a huge increase, meaning double-digit increase in interest rates, because that's going to need, or most likely would stay lower. So, some interesting back and forth between economists on where mortgage interest rates head, and that's the hard part. We don't know. Nobody knows that. It's generally it's tied to the 10-year Treasury, and that's the part that everybody is watching closely. I don't know, Shane, what do you think? Where are interest rates going?
I kind of warned my offices yesterday. I said, is 6% scary for people? Because maybe get that in your head. We could be there. Now that's not that far from where we're at, really, but also thinking back to 2 months ago, we were sitting in the fours.
Well,
I think
2005 and 6, interest rates were where?
6.
Exactly. And we've forgotten that. Exactly. We've all forgotten that. And so... Yeah.
I think the reason it's become such a hot topic is just because of how quick it happened.
And how low they had been.
Right. We just got really spoiled, But I think the word I hear more often now instead of crash is just a little bit of a correction, and I don't know if that's the right terminology to use.
Or soft landing.
I
really like that term.
Soft landing. That works.
I like normalized. I mean, we went through a period. You look at, like I said, how quickly and how much housing prices were adjusting, and you look at the amount of showings that were happening on properties. Not in all cases, but some of the, and we all heard those stories, you read in the headlines, and then the amount of multiple offers that were occurring, and those are the things that for the housing market aren't healthy and aren't sustainable. So for us to get to more normal, and if that's called a correction, I'll take it all day long. But I would call it normal, and a normalization of the housing market, and we need that. I mean, the housing market is such a huge component of of the overall economy. It's a significant portion. And so if that's out of balance, like we saw back in 2006 through really about 2010, 11, when that's out of balance, the whole economy is. And so we really do need to see it normalize again. And so interest rates being where they're at, and if they tick up a little bit, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and I also think that's why you're not going to see rates at 7 or 8 either, because I think that would maybe put a stop to the, and not stop. I mean, the housing market's never going to stop, but I think it might really level things off. So that's why, I mean, 6 is one thing, but I don't know, 7 or 8 just seems like
healthy.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, you get everyone that's just, well, agents that get a little panicky, like, oh my gosh, rates are going up. Newer agents, I should say. But like when you look at it historically, people still bought when they were 13, 14,
I know. We all hear the war
18,
stories from the agents that were selling during the 80s and mid 80s.
There's always going to be divorce, relocations, all of that. That's going to be $5. That's going to be $5, sir. There's always, housing is a necessity, and that will keep us rolling no matter what. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you have anything else?
That was it.
Yeah. That was good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the thing that Lisa talked about in our meeting yesterday that, excuse me, I'm shedding. It was talking about the difference of how overpriced housing markets are for where...
Are you talking on the coast a little bit? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a big driver, I think.
Yes. Average income. There we go. It's like, where are my words? I can't. I've even had my coffee. Because on the coast, you were seeing like, it was about 40% overpriced, and now they're sitting at like 10% overpriced because everyone started to move out of those large markets.
Well,
so,
one stat that jumped out to me was comparing Los Angeles at the time of the crash compared to now. They were 62% overpriced at the crash, and they're at 10% now.
Yeah.
And overpriced, I thought it was interesting, I think, is based on income and affordability for those markets or whatever. But I thought that was a great stat.
Yeah.
So
that was a new one that she brought to light yesterday, and I was like, wow, okay.
She said she put that together at 4:30 in the morning yesterday, just so you know. It's when she does her best work.
Literally, I was. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
I just threw her under the bus there. Sorry, Lisa.
We love you. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me this morning.
Yes, absolutely. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to comment below. We'd love to answer them for you in future videos and podcasts. Have a great day.